Welcome to the Wing Life Podcast, where we talk about wing foiling and the lifestyles of those who enjoy this great sport.
Maximus, it's nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. I don't know. I remember when you first started this thing. It was I think I was one of your first guests, right? Now you're slaying it.
We didn't know anybody other than you, so I think you're like, "Fine, all right, Max, you got to come on, man, or else we're gonna sink." And we.
yeah, some default guess.
I recorded it from a C plus. It's like a Quebec IGA because I was at my grandma's with no internet. So we recorded it in a parking lot, which was all the early recordings.
I remember that. Yeah, I'm kind of in the back seat of the van right now, but we're gonna make this work.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. But anyways, look, a lot's changed for you since then, and pretty sick to see you. Like all the boys back home and ladies back home it's awesome to see your journey into this pro world. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's been really cool. And honestly, yeah, with the brand switch too, and being pushed harder than ever before, it's been something special for sure, man.
Mm-hmm. So, what are you ranked like currently 5th in the world tour in all disciplines? I think is what I read.
No, I wish. Level's too high now, man. I'm too old, so. Yeah, but it's been really amazing journey, especially with with the new Gong team. The boys pushed me hard, crazy hard. And then also, especially, I think being like now I'm the oldest guy on recurring athlete on tour, I would say, for the freestyle tour, at least at 31. And, I'm just hanging in there, man. These kids keep me super young. And, especially like you're saying with the level where it is now, like if I don't keep grinding, if I don't stay focused with my training, with these groms, I might fall off, and I don't want that. So I'm having a lot of fun just continuing to push with these guys and seeing how long I can continue to do that for.
Oh, that's cool, man. Well, you're like ranked, I think 23rd right now, or 22nd, sorry, in freestyle, which is amazing. Like, this is something you just picked up. You didn't even like winging. You're like, fuck this shit. And then here you are, like competing against some of the best in the world, obviously. And do you want to just maybe walk us through your last year or two for everybody who listened, like all our buddies back in the Great Lakes and stuff who listened to the first one? I guess this episode's pretty much for them. So yeah.
Yeah. This is all for the homies right here in East Canada for sure. So I would say since we last talked, last spring I made a brand shift to Gong, joining like what is this crazy super team basically, with Malo, Bastion, Clément, Ratoti, and Francesco now, and myself, as well as now Francesco's girlfriend Charlotte, and we have a bunch of other groms kind of coming up, as well as some amazing female athletes, and it's just like it's crazy. So when I made that switch, was kind of mainly just because I wanted to be a part of definitely something bigger than myself, to have such a strong team, like I was just saying, pushing me like crazy. Like I knew that if I wanted to succeed as an athlete, I felt like it was the change I was going to have to make. I'm super thankful to everything that Slingshot did for me. Getting me on tour, making me a professional athlete for technically the first time in my career. But like making that shift for me to, stay or to continue to progress and to be at the level I am now was like, it was, I felt like it was the only option I had, and I feel like, as much as I still want more, it shows like, back then I could do backflips and 360 variations. And now since joining the team, I'm doing many, many more moves. The boys obviously still have a bigger bag than me, but I'm doing my best. And that's been a really cool part of the journey for sure. I would say to kind of summarize the rest, it's, I moved teams. We went through the tour last year all together, and it's a new team where we're a big squad, traveling around to all these different spots as well. And for sure, we had our growing pains learning how to kind of be the best team we could be. But I think we're at a place now where we're all very, very much, we all care for each other. We want the best for each other, and we push each other better than we ever have before. So that for me is something really special about this group and this brand.
Well, yeah, and you're riding with that's a high caliber. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw the big air event, like the boys went second and third with Mallow and Bastion absolutely going huge. Like they were definitely doing the biggest fronts, of the competition. And Bastion even going just as big as Mallow, but coming in with like half kickers, So for me, like when I saw that, I was like, man, these guys is, this is like, these are the guys that set the bar for me,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what I really love about this opportunity. And that's why I'm really excited to go to the next stop, which is I leave on Monday for Fuerte. So
Sick. So how, a pretty exciting opportunity, but what has been some of your favorite spots around the world that you've gotten to go to in the last year?
I would say it's true. I mean, like with this new opportunity with the brands and everything, I think like, I've been able to travel to, since I last saw you, I was in New Zealand, I was in Cape Verde, I was in, I was in Mexico, just like yourself, man. And
Yep.
I was also, in the Canary Islands, places that I always dreamed about going when I was a windsurfer, actually, or when I was windsurfing a lot more, and then Brazil in the end of the year, like all of it continues to feel fake. Like it doesn't feel real because these are all these spots that I'd watch live streams of the best windsurfing athletes in the world going to. And now it's me going to these spots. And ironically, it's in a different sport. But yeah, like I'm fanboying every single time I'm at a new spot. And the first place that we got to go to when I joined the Gong team actually was like a place I dreamed of going to my whole life, and that was Pozo last year. Right. So like it's 35 knots every single day. I mean, you see the biggest moves ever being thrown at a windsurfer there. And we came into the spot and we just did exactly the same thing, but on wings, we just tried to go as big as possible and kind of level up the sport last year. And I think for me, that was one of the best events ever. I think like last year's Pozo, just like how big everybody was going, seeing the innovation that came from that, that live stream. I think you can go back and watch that for the next couple of years because it's just absolutely insane. And so that spot is definitely up there for me in regards to like favorite spots. But I think it's just every single time I get a new opportunity to go, to any of these places, like every single adventure has been, one that I can write home about. Like it's been a really special journey. And, I just like, I'm going to try and do it as long as I can because, this is me front loading, right? Like this is the stuff that I'm going to be able to talk about to my kids, for years to come. So just
when you're 95,
just enjoying it all, man. Yeah. Yeah. When I'm old and busted from the sport, my knees are giving now. My ankles are or cement blocks.
You'll still be fine at
Exactly.
95.
Yeah.
You'll just be surfing some stuff instead of flipping, maybe. Whatever. It'll be all right.
Yeah, man. With Canadian healthcare, yeah, I'm good for sure.
Should be fine. It should be
Yeah.
fine. All right. So Pozo's
Guys
up
know.
there.
Yeah,
Like, do you bring your
100%.
windsurf kit when you go, or do you just bring your wing stuff?
I would. It's just, we're, especially with this team, we're locked in. Like, we get up, we eat, we go to the spot. Mallow wants to ride for 6 hours a day. I can manage maybe about 3 to 4. And it's kind of like we eat, sleeve. Sorry, we eat, we sleep, and we're breathing, wing foiling wherever we are. So don't really have the time for it, unfortunately.
Okay,
But I will. I know for sure, especially with the homies back here. I have Tyler McKay and Adam Okoye. Like they're still throwing down super hard, especially when it comes to freestyle windsurfing. And I'll dabble again. It's just like I said. This is me doing my best not to fall off and to stay on and progress to the level that I can be proud of before it's all done.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Well, man, you're doing well. You're doing pretty well. Like that ranking's good. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And it's pretty sick. So what moves have been the ones that you've been working on, that you've progressed on, like in the last couple of years since we chatted last, that you would have added to the repertoire, and how much time or how much effort did that take to kind of nail those? Does it help to be riding with those guys because you can analyze what they're doing, all that kind of stuff?
I would say 100%. I think potentially the best coach in the world, this is low key, is Mallow. Like, he is an absolutely incredible analytic. And the way when I get to ride with him, if I want to try something new, he'll break it down step by step for me, and I just go for it. And we're two people, I think, within our team dynamic that aren't afraid to try anything. And I think I know, for instance, like Bastion Claymore, they have kind of their bag, and they don't necessarily try new moves as much, but they go massive and they do their moves super, super well. Mal is definitely an innovator, and I'm somebody who just loves to try new stuff. And so our dynamic when we're training together really pushes that. And so if Mallow is doing something new, I just ask him, how do I do that? And I try, and I take big stacks. Obviously, I'm crashing all over the place. But that is I would say that's like kind of how everything started to develop. They would be like, especially when the boys learned the back mob last fall. It was last fall. I was like, I don't understand the move. Then I just, I just started trying it. And then, come Brazil, I just, leading up to Brazil, I just kept hucking, and they kept on giving me tips. And then finally I started to stomp them, and now it's one of my most consistent moves. And so I think that's really indicative of like the team dynamic. I don't think I would be able to have gotten that move. Maybe, it might have taken me twice, 3 times, 4 times the amount of time if I wasn't on this team. You know what I mean? They have just the right gear for it. I have the right, I have the right people around me pushing me to like learn how to do something like this. Whereas, having to diagnose the technique myself just by watching Instagram videos might have taken me a little bit longer. Although Instagram definitely does help. For sure, everybody's just like creeping the gram all the time, and like being like, okay, okay, that's how we do this, and everybody starts to try to learn it in a couple of weeks, and then go on to something else. But yeah, they help me so much for that, and I'm super thankful to the boys for that.
All right, okay. And I guess what comes after this, GQ modeling contracts? Like you go off to like what's next?
Man, it's really cool. Actually, I wanted to touch on a few things with you for sure that are a little bit outside of the tour and kind of all that stuff.
Let's do it.
So you may have heard about it, but we started. Well, in Canada, there's a new pilot program that just started because of Sail GP. You may have heard of it, called Weekend Foil, and they're basically going around Canada, and they're going to start doing this also, in North America as well, piloting wing foiling, wind foiling, as well as wasp foiling. And I just signed on as one of their coaches, which is super cool. Yeah. So we just got back from Kingston, Ontario, over the weekend, where we were doing demos for 4 days, and we had just sold out every single night, and the stoke was insane. Like, people are just like walking off, walking through the harbor, walking through Portsmouth, seeing it, signing up for the next day. So 55 people over 4 days, between wind foiling and winging. I had like a full boat stacked with like 9 people, with our demo kit, just kind of like showing people how to do this, doing the tow foiling as well, getting people their first flights behind the boat. Was like, it's all part of it. Introducing obviously the product and the equipment, and it was insane. And then afterwards, it's like everybody walks up to you and they're just like, when can I do this again? Like, can you coach me? And I think that for me, it just like, that's, I think eventually how I would like to leave my mark on the sport. It's like getting as many people stoked on it as possible. I think building up my base as an athlete to eventually be, coach down the road. It makes sense. It'll give me more range of things to be able to teach down the road too. With more experiences that I have, and it was Kingston was just, shall I say, just kind of scratching the surface. It's like that first event, seeing so many people excited about it, and it's just, we're just getting started.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that either a Facebook story or an Instagram thing about that, because I think we had gone sailing there the week before, and then got skunked a couple days later. But it's such a beautiful town for anybody who hasn't been. Like, right on Lake Ontario, all these little islands around. Like, it's gorgeous there.
Yeah, it's that's like one of the crazy things about it too. It's like, it's not only just gorgeous, but it also has like a local thermal effect too. So you see an 8 to 10 knot forecast, you're probably going to get closer to 15. And so like, we were able to get foiling, basically, I think it was like 3 out of 4 days, for me. Okay. And I think that's like, it's pretty unheard of in Ontario during the summer, because in Toronto it's glass flat. So
yeah, it's been actually it's been good here, to be honest. Like, in the last month, I've only been able to get out 2 or 3 times, but the neighbor who just retired has been 11 times in a month in May and June. Yeah, it's like, it's unheard of since a long time ago. Hey, where'd you get that mug, by the way? That's a pretty sick mug.
Yeah, man, this is a present from an ex, actually.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, ex.
Yeah. So right. It's like, yo, man, that's got you written all over it, and I'm like, literally. So yeah. Oh man,
sick. All right, so working weekend, that's
huge. Yeah, man, that's that's a special thing. And with the working weekend, it also kind of it's tapering into all this other stuff too here. So like with Ontario Sailing as well, they're starting a pilot program where they want me to go to a variety of different clubs. Basically, like, so different yacht clubs, different sailing clubs, and demoing and doing clinics as well. Like for these at these programs, like, you know, instead of just demos, kind of like Weekend Foil, they want to do full on clinics for kids that have a sailing background, they've never done it before. And I tell you, Luke, like there's kids I'm teaching in like 2.5 hours. Like, you know, and I know, like, I was, you know, you have your new podcast with Damo and what's his name again? Sorry.
And Gwen. Yeah, Damo
And Gwen, yeah, like
Yeah.
absolute legends, by the way.
Yep.
And like but yeah, like I they probably would say the same thing. Like you get the right coaching, and you know, you can get people up within like the 3 to 5 hour window who have basically no wind sport experience, maybe a bit of water sport experience probably in that time frame. And it's crazy. Like it's crazy how fast people are learning. And like to take it to sailing clubs, sailing clubs,
That's
and
fun.
to like have people who are like, you know, to like sailing athletes and try it will be, I'm sure they're going to be able to foil behind a boat like this, and they'll probably be able to get foiling with a wing in their hands like this. And I think, yeah, the learning curve with wing foiling compared to something like planing in the footshops and windsurfing, it's like, you know, like 3 hours is probably like 3 months, you know, 3 weeks.
Makes sense.
Comparison is crazy. So,
and
so that's really cool. So,
and that's how Max Robinson got on the cover of Sports Illustrated for 2025. Whatever, man. You're the man of the year in Toronto. It works out. It's all right. Take it.
Oh man.
Oh shit. It's pretty
Appreciate
cool though.
the gas, homie.
Oh, we have to. Yeah, no. It's pretty it's just sensational to see you progress through that, compete with the best kids on tour, get to travel to some absolutely amazing spots, work with a great team. A lot of it based on dedication, hard work, and the awesome people back in Toronto and stuff like that. Like, it's phenomenal to see that, and it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we're super proud of you and super happy to see you having fun. Like, that's the main thing. You get to have fun, and you staying pretty jacked at 31. Pretty good.
I got really lucky with the base I have back home. Like here, like I'm in Toronto right now, and here, like the team and the club and everything, the support that I've had to be able to do what I'm doing now, to coach, you know, to have the opportunity to go overseas and work with Gong as well, and knowing that I'll have this place, you know, when I come home as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the support too, you know, like none of it would have happened if it wasn't for the base that I have here in Toronto and all the people that support me from day one, you know, when it comes to the club, when it comes to the brands, you know, and the recognition that I got because of all of that. So I'm super thankful, obviously, to the club and all the people at it. And yeah, it's like, you know, 600, we have over 600 members now, right?
Oh,
in Windsurfing Club.
Sick.
Nice. And it's, and then like, it's, now like a good portion of them, a good portion of the active ones are winging. You'll see 100%, you'll see definitely like, you know, at least over 50, 60% of those people on the water winging now. But yeah, it's a special scene there for sure. Especially in the heart of Toronto.
Yeah. And we should probably give a shout out to Mr. John Vu, because I know he's going to be wanting to learn some moves off you this year, right? So,
yeah, man, I'm trying to chase this guy. Man, he went to, I think he went as well to Columbia, right?
I didn't go, but it was it was John and who else? A couple other boys, eh?
Chuck and the boys.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he is, like John is like, he is like every wind sport person in Toronto's best friend. And he's definitely probably I would say like he's a mentor of mine at this stage. Like he's helped me a lot through that kind of every step of the way. He was the first time I went to Sandbanks was because of him. The first time I went, even further west, like PEC, because of him. Winging, a big part of it was because of him and his outlook on the sport. And we're always talking tech, and so I think like his John, like huge shout out to you, man. Like you inspire me like no other. And I think 55 years old, excuse me, sorry about that. 55 years old, still absolutely, killing the game, riding waves like a Grom out there. And
for sure.
Yeah.
He's like a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
He's like 35.
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's sick though.
Yeah. So I'm
Nice.
huge respect for the guy. And even when it comes to talking life, relationships, all that stuff, he's there for it. He's there for me. So appreciate you, John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. So you got a trip coming up on Monday. You're gonna go represent. You excited about that?
Yeah, I feel pretty prepared. Like when I'm here, there's not that many. We don't get the conditions that I would get overseas as often. So I do my best to kind of stay on point with my training on the water, but mostly it's gym. The gym, running, all that kind of stuff, yoga, like every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, outside of the working hours that I'm putting in at the club coaching. So that's that's kind of what I focus on when I'm here in Toronto. And I think it's for myself as an older athlete, like if I don't do that, then I won't be ready. I think I honestly, like I could put in hours on the water, but I think, when I do what I do at the gym and then I go for a trip to get time on the water, I don't get beat up the same way.
Okay.
And I really noticed that putting in the extra hours in the gym, it allows me to not worry at all on the water. Like I can send whatever, and I know I'm not going to be broken. And before, I think you remember, man, I was like spraining my ankles all the time. And I'm just like, and I was still going to the gym. I was still taking care of myself, but not as much. And I think like when you really commit to, the stretching and mobility work, the strength work to make sure that all the muscles and joints are on point, that goes a long way in being able to send it as big as you want. And then when you take stacks, you don't have to worry about the ankles giving out or spraining something or breaking something, because everything's just, robust. So I think that's been kind of my focus right now before heading out that way.
Did it surprise you how your body adapted to becoming with the right routine to getting stronger to the level that you could feel comfortable to take bigger wipeouts and it wasn't as big as it was before?
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing is weight management sometimes too. So I haven't worried about it too much. Like I'm 95 kilos, potentially 95 kilos plus. And with winging, it's not as big of a deal because you can just use a bigger wing. It doesn't really affect you too much other than rotation speed. Sometimes in lighter winds, so 95 kilos is a little bit much for sure. Sometimes, especially in those lighter winds, but I'll take the extra, 5 kilos in muscle to make sure that I don't necessarily break myself. Right. I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. And like, as I taper off and hopefully continue to hold on to that muscle, and maybe get a little bit lighter, then I can just go a little bit bigger. But, adapting to kind of my body. Is that the kind of question you're asking?
Well, just even like I just turned 41 and I've been weight training for a year now and just starting box jumps. And I used to be able to box jump just below my chest, like kind of, and then now I'm working back up to it. But it's like, it's for some reason society seems to tell us, which is John Vu's our perfect example. of like society around here in Canada, US seem to tell us that after 25 you're done, but it's like I'm still surprised by how well my body does at 41. And like this year, most of our buddies that are in their 50s and 60s, like out west, are incredible shape. They figured out what they have to eat. They figured out what exercises work for them, and their bodies become more and more bulletproof. And
that's it, right?
so
That's
it's like,
it.
it's
Like, I
super
think
fun to go and
yeah.
have your exercise days and realize it's like, yeah, it's kind of bullshit. Like we can keep going for a long time.
Yeah.
Like Sarah Kita,
No,
what
100%.
just turned 32, 33 or something, and she's still ripping up number one.
Yeah, I think we're the same birth year, and she's not slowing down. I think she's just getting better, and I think that's the thing, right? Like the science is there now to, keep everybody on point for longer than ever. People are motivated for it to, stay on point for longer than ever, and this is the most fit I've been maybe in my entire life. Fit, like at least strength wise for sure, and the cardio is there too, and I don't really see myself slowing down. If anything, like now that now that I don't break myself as much, actually, I think I see myself speeding up.
That's awesome.
So I think that's, for me, it's, like the adapting to it, sure, it's carrying a couple extra pounds in the water, but when it comes to the performance, man, it's crazy. Like I remember being here for the first time. When I went to France to start working with Gong back in back in March, after the kind of 3-month block of training at home. I just remember being how powerful I felt on the water, and like knowing that like all that hard work was paying off, and being able to not feel tired at all. It's like the wing is obviously easier. It's a lot easier than holding up a big windsurf sail for sure, and that's what I was used to that for. But to have like gone through the training and then feeling it on the water, like feeling the ability to be more explosive and more dynamic, that was really cool. And I definitely I'm such an advocate for putting in those hours at the gym, and like our team does that as well every day from 8 to 9 back in France. Like they're getting after it, making sure they're working on all of it, and it shows. So it's just there's no secrets. Like we're just working hard, and the boys are working hard. I'm doing my best to keep up while I'm here as well. So
okay,
yeah.
All right. Are there any new tricks you're pulling out for this upcoming contest?
That's a good question. Started
that you can't talk about.
I don't have any innos personally.
Okay.
I might, there may or may not be a few that I'm aware of.
All right.
That maybe boys may or may not be working on. So I mean by innovation, like there's a multiplying factor. You've probably talked about this to a few of the other guys. But with innovation moves, we get a little bit of a bonus for putting something new, putting down something new when we're on tour and the freestyle aspect of things. And so so we're always looking towards kind of doing new and exciting tricks. I'm not stomping any new innos, but I was working really hard on one of the moves that, again, Malo was teaching me how to do. And that was he calls it the blindo, which is a blind backside cork 7, which is like, even just saying that, it sounds insane. And I've been starting to land it more and more consistently. So that's a big one for me. Like that, stomp clean. I think that is for sure like an 8+, maybe even sometimes an 8.5+ scoring maneuver. And before, like my bag never had anything bigger than 6s in it. But now with the back mob, with that move, some combos, like I think as long as I can get the moves that I know I can do landed, I believe that I have the ability to make it, to the quarters, potentially a top 10. I'm always kind of missing out just by this much, which has been annoying. But I totally believe that I can keep up with some of these kids for a bit at least. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, so you got this. What's the next event after Fuerte that you're going to?
So I come back actually to Toronto first for until I would flight back to France on the 22nd of September. Before that, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening here at home. So I on top of obviously like the weekend foil stuff, coaching across North America, we're also going to be and then obviously the Ontario sailing stuff. I also and I talked to you about this before, I think as well, but I'm partnering with the brand Brown Girl Outdoor World, where they're trying to get Black, Indigenous, women of color, ultimately doing more outdoor adventure sports, niche sports. And so partnering with them is going to see myself and this group of women. We'll be doing weekly wing and windsurf classes. So every Tuesday during the month of August, we're going to be doing that. And I just got actually a text from Demisha who runs it, and she's like, they want more. And I'm like, all right, let's get it, So
That's amazing.
I think, so I think that's really cool, like to know that there's a want from a community that you haven't seen necessarily thrive in these spaces before. And for me also as like, as a person of color as well, I want to see that diversity. I want to see these people thrive in a space that I love. And like, this is, if I'm able to give even like an ounce of the passion that I feel, into the heart of somebody else, I know that they're going to go, or they will feel absolutely insane. Like, it's like all you want to do. And like, if people work and live for this, like it's, there's nothing else that's on their minds once they start doing it. And, so I know that like our niche is something really, really special. And I hope that, as these people get a chance to try it and to progress, like I know it's going to be, something they're going to want to hold on to for life as well. So that's something that I'm really excited about. And we're trying to work towards partnering with more, more partners that work towards creating more inclusivity within our sports, within these niche wind sports. But yeah, I think that's a big goal of mine this summer. Try and make that to make more opportunities there. And so I'm excited to work with BGOW. Shout out to Jamisha for being such a legend, making all this happen. And yeah. So then, so that's kind of that's a big chunk of my summer. The weekend foil, the outreach work with BGOW, and hopefully a few other partners on the way. We'll see where it goes, and then ultimately, then we have after that. I think there's going into the fall, a lot of training, and then we have Brazil to wrap up the season. Like every year.
How is Brazil? So, how is that?
Brazil is absolutely insane. Like if you want to have like soft, I think like there's options. If you want to like ride in like soft, easy waves, and 20 to 25 knots every day, you have that. If you want to go somewhere where it's like, you got some, pretty intense shore break, you have that. If if you want to run like crazy wind as well, you have that, and you have it every day. You know, for me, it's like 4.5, 5.0 powered up every single day. And everybody else obviously is like 3.5, 4.0. But yeah, and I think that for me is like, yeah, and you can be in board shorts as well. So I think that's a place like for winters, I think, especially with winging now, where like, you know, no matter what, you're going to be able to get on the water every day. I'd be surprised if it doesn't blow up even more. So yeah, like, and especially with like the, you know, the soft reef break wave riding as well. Like it's, yeah, it's Paracuda was wild for that. And the comp, I mean, shit, like it's the best one. Like that was when I stopped my first back mob in competition and had my biggest score ever in a move. You know, and it's just like, yeah, so it's great memories there. We had the whole team out. Patrice even came with us too. We were making content like all winter for our 2024 you know, release package. All that stuff's online now too. So, and but yeah, that's that was, yeah, Brazil's sick. Brazil's sick. You have to go. You have to go.
Yeah, it's on the list. We'll go. We'll go eventually. I think I'll probably go back to Mexico, I think, for this winter and chill there. And I got a bunch of new gear to play with, which is going to be super fun. Little shout out to North. Thanks a lot for hooking me up with this stuff. It's going to be super fun to play with. And
yeah, man, you're sending it now. You got the sponsors. Got the, I mean, you got the like the new talk show. Like everything. You're on fire.
Like, I might really even try to like get a little baby jump this year, like get the foil out of the water. I might try. May have to call you for some tips though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. Yeah, hit me up. I'm sure. I think you're too humble with it, man. I know you got you probably learn pretty quick.
So. I do want to try. Like I was gonna get down to a smaller board this year. We'll see how it goes. But
what are you rocking right now? The size
72.
Still. That's a good size. Me too. 72. Yeah. So
it's a nice size. It floats.
Definitely huck it around.
Yeah, I can come back in and like next to no wind and doesn't allow me to freeze, which is really nice. I might go down to a 56 because it sinks about an inch below the water, but it's still super fun. So I might try that this year.
Yeah.
And I got some new surf foils I want to try. First time hopping off a 15. So I'll go to 12 down to an 830. And then if I like that, I might go smaller.
Right on.
We'll see, man. We'll see. We didn't talk much about gear, but we can talk about it another time. But I was more just wanting to catch up and see how you were and just excited about your whole journey and stuff.
Yeah, I'm likewise, man. It's been really nice catching up with you. And, you know, thanks, like huge thanks to Gong for bringing me on, obviously, and for like, an incredible journey. You know, within a massive growing, being a massive growth point in my career. And then obviously, like, in the Toronto region, I can't thank TWC enough. Thank you for partnering with, you know, my outreach program, Level the Playing Field, and Bronco Outdoor World, as well as, you know, everybody on the board of directors for approving all the stuff that I'm keen to kind of push forward. And then also, like, you know, just like all the support from the homies here, like family, friends, club members, like just kind of being in my corner and always cheering me on. They're always the first ones to comment on Instagram and Facebook. And, you know, that doesn't go unnoticed. Like everybody here that's in my corner is, you know, they're my day ones and they always will be. And so I'm really excited to kind of represent, you know, our region and hopefully throw down in the next few events, you know, on our behalf. So
just take down McDonald's, man. It's fine. Just take
him out. Take him out.
You know, we got some people over here that can help. You know, we got a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, man. We're Canadians, man. We just bring the axes. You know, basically all half lumberjacks, anyways, right? So.
Igloos and axes. That's all we have up here. But Well, hey, brother, thanks for taking the time to chat. I hope the weekend goes well and that you have a safe flight out. And we're looking forward to following you at these next events. So, yeah, it was nice to catch up.
Yeah, it was sick, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully we get a session in when I'm back at least. So
yes, if I'm still here, we'll definitely. And yeah, Sandbanks in the fall, man. It's still pretty fun.
Let's get it.
Still pretty fun. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on this one. And yeah. Oh, before we go, if people are wanting to look up any other projects that you're working on, where should they go?
Right now, if they're locals and they want to join Brown Girl Outdoor World, obviously they're gonna have the all the information about the events coming up through their Instagram. Weekend Foils got on Instagram as well. They're gonna be posting dates nonstop. And if you want to book a lesson with me in Toronto, that's also an option. You just go to Toronto Windsurfing Club. That's windsurfingclub.com. And you can book a lesson with me privately through their website. So,
all right, brother. Thanks, man. We'll catch you soon.
All right. Peace out.